Okay, let's resume our journey here. So you can see bits of some ties here. There's a pretty big one. This is like a whole tie still sitting in the grade here. We bump over it. All right, so we still got quite a number of things to take a look at here as we move out of Beardmore. I'm going to lose a jacket. Again, beautiful day today. So we have something coming up just right here. You're going to be able to see it momentarily. So there's a metal box here on the north side of the grade. So this is, I guess, the box for the signaling apparatus for the crossing where it crosses over the highway. You can see the obligatory graffiti on the box here. Last time we were here, yeah, it's still locked. So you don't really see too many of this on this line. You know, there was the crossing here. Yeah, I think this is really one of the only ones, because this is the only place that across the highway, because basically you have a street crossing in Geraldton. And then I'm trying to think if there is anywhere else that you would have needed some sort of something like that. I don't think anywhere else. Oh, Jellicoe, sorry. I knew there was one more. It crosses the highway at Jellicoe. So we cross the highway again because it's on the north side of the highway, and we have to cross by between Jellicoe and Neza, so just south of where the yard is at Jellicoe. All right, so here we're going to get into a very lengthy rock cut. I tried recording it this morning. We'll see which one turns out better. The sun had just popped out when we did that, so I don't know which one is going to look better. Here you can see yet another tie. This looks like almost a complete tie here in the ground. So the cut starts off a little bit on the small side, and then it just continues to get larger. I'm going to try to tuck myself in here on the south side. Again, you can see that very layered and very fractured type of rock, and where it's just like shearing off in chunks and sheets. And you can see it there on the south side of the grade as well. What did the dog see? So you can also notice too where we are in terms of spring. So by next weekend, the leaves are probably going to be out. So here the rock cut is probably just under 10 feet high, if I had to guess. Just measuring off my 5'10" frame, 178 centimeters, for those of you who use metric. So here you can see the height. Oops, Luna, come here. All right, so basically, again, you can see here tucked in close to the rock cut, you can see sort of that very fractured nature of the rock, how it's all coming off. You don't often see too much rock here in the valley of the Blackwater. There's only a few instances of it. There's some here, and then there's some further ahead, and there's some back to the east. So you know, further to the east of Beardmore, there was some rock cuts and things like that, but typically not a ton. Okay, so let's continue on here. So we're going to pass through yet another rock cut. We pre-recorded this one too, so we'll see which one looks better. So again, you can just see the same nature of the rock here. The rock cut here is probably, the top there is maybe 12 feet or so. And then coming up here is we have our first of 2 crossings of the Blackwater River. A gentleman passed this on his vehicle here. He's doing water samples. So I'm just going to keep my eye out over here to see if we see flanger sign for the bridge. I think there's one on the other side if I remember. Not seeing anything. All right, so let's hold up here momentarily and then we're going to work our way across the bridge. All right, so let's work our way across. So here you can basically see the concrete work on the abutments. So, and a couple of ties here before we get onto the bridge. So this is what is known as a through plate girder span. And so essentially what that means is you can see the very high, very elevated sides. So what this is designed to do is basically it's designed to give rigidity and strength, at the same time maintaining a lot of clearance underneath the structure. And so again, this was mainly due to the fact that they were moving logs on the river and they did need a lot of clearance here. So the bridge itself is 100 feet high. I can't remember, sorry, 100 feet long. I can't remember the height. Basically because I lost my piece of paper. I'll flash that up on the screen. So as we're going to see the date stamp after, this bridge was opened in 1921. You can see how very high the sides are, right? They're like almost 6 feet high, right? Because I'm just sort of judging it off myself. The bridge itself is in pretty good shape. You can see for the most part, most of the bridge timbers here are pretty decent. You can see all of the obligatory graffiti on here. Some of it, a lot of it inappropriate, as usual. So we've reached the western side here. You can see a whole pile of ties on the approach, and very rare to see a sign like this on this style of bridge. So you can actually see the flanger sign. It looks like somebody fished it out of the river because it's all rusted. So and I've seen that before where they've pulled them out and thrown them on the river. So what you have here is and we've seen these in a couple of places. So you essentially have your standard flanger sign, and then you basically have the obstruction warnings as well too, because on the flanger plow, the spreader plow, you basically have the middle part and then you have the 2 wings, right? So not only do you need to retract the flanger plow, but you also need to retract the spreader wings as well, so you don't smash into the sides of the bridge. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to reuse our 2021 footage and go down and have a look. All right, so we're down here below the level of the grade. We're on the northeast corner, and so you can see the bridge span up above us here. You can see the concrete abutments. You can see the condition of the concrete. It's actually not too bad. You can see that the lead up, the approaches there is actually new concrete work. It looks much newer. And then basically you can kind of see the structure here. So it is one single span across the river, and so down here you can see the Blackwater River. So the river is kind of flowing in a eastern direction here. This is actually one of 2 crossings, as I mentioned, of the river that we're going to be doing, and the other one's just up ahead. And so we kind of cross one branch of the river and then we cross another one. Down here you can actually see some of the piles from the original structure in the river. There's one down there. Over here we can actually see the date stamp from the bridge. So we can see very clearly the 1921. So again, very, very early years of the Canadian national takeover. And then here you can see sort of the underside of the structure. Look like there's up here, looks like there's a nest. Now all of a sudden the sun comes out and we're kind of very backlit. All right, so what we're gonna do is we are going to make our way across the bridge and go take a look at things from the other corner. All right, so we've made our way down. We are on the southwest corner of the bridge. I'm gonna try to get a little bit closer here because otherwise we're just gonna be completely backlit, sorry. So you can kind of see the length of the bridge here. This concrete work is not too bad shape, particularly given its age. Right here, before we head back up to the grade, we actually have the remains of a telegraph pole. You can see what's left on here is just kind of the either broken or kind of crappy insulators. I believe these ones are rubber. These are rubber, ceramic. That's a rubber one. And I think there's a broken Dominion 42 and there's another broken Dominion 42 on there. So again, kind of the things that nobody really wants. Okay, so we're gonna hop up on the grade and we're just gonna continue pushing south. We actually have another bridge coming up. Kind of neat here. Sorry, before we get going, I just noticed this. So the hole in there, usually those are for the reinforcements for the forms. You don't really kind of see those very often. Anyway, so we'll jump back up on the grade and we'll continue heading south.